Alright, so I'm not even gonna lie, it's like my fifth attempt shooting this video because my internet keeps bugging, so just gonna be honest, I'm gonna kind of try to rush through it. So hopefully I cover everything. I think we're doing good for this one. We're reviewing Rational Jedi's gameplay on a game that I was in with him. Capture the flag, and let's get started. I like that he picked up the BR. Some people don't pick it up. Checking corners. People are looking to contest the quantum locator. Oof. Right here, I would try to be more aware of. That was just the same guy that contested the quantum locator. Where is he? I'll just fast forward a little bit. Right here, this guy. He was the one who ended up, dropping down and getting the kill. Right here. Boom. So I'd just be more aware of that possible angle in a gunfight. I do like that he contested the power up though. Alright, clearing out the base. One thing I notice is that the movement is a little bit sporadic on the left stick right here. And the right stick kind of swings around a lot too. I think this is due to the fact that it's like the movement is kind of helping him think like, okay, where am I gonna go? What am I gonna do next? But I'm not sure that the movement actually helps with that. Checking flank, like right here, right reticle placement. It isn't really doing much. Right there, he was good. He turned, checked his right, and now he's going to contest that. But yeah, definitely, I would focus on trying to move. I'm going to pause it. Move more deliberately. Like if you have to stop to think about where to go, just kind of stop, train your reticle in one place to where they might appear, and then think where to go, rather than moving left, right, back, forth in the same position. Like for instance, I'm gonna try to jump to it. Right here. Like right there, guy's dead. And here, he's like, alright, what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? It's a bit anxious. And then right here, he's like, alright, will I go this way? Maybe. All this time, I feel like by this time, if you would have committed to a push, this guy would be dead, and you would be mid with busy. So definitely, I would be at least more deliberate, if not, pushing forward on the capture the flag, checking flanks, and right here I do notice, I'm going to play it in slow motion, that you do use the right stick to kind of check the flank and then look back and then re-look again a second time. This is what I mean by being more like deliberate. I would if I was here in this position, right, and I wanted to check my flank, I would literally turn before I'm even out of cover, check, and then keep running if there's no one there, so that my reticle would be already on top of the guy and I would have first shot if I were to keep running. Yada yada, you know what I'm trying to say. Alright, so this guy's pushing our flag. If I were you personally, at this point, since you see there is one blue X on our screen, meaning one of our teammates is dead, busy. You see one person going back to our spawn. You know our teammate is on a respawn timer. If I were you in this position, I would keep pushing forward to help with the flag cap or the flag grab, or slays to help. Yeah, with the flag grab, knowing that busy on respawn, if this guy goes for the flag, Busy would be able to stop him, or at least call him out if this guy doesn't go for the flag, so that Busy knows to check our base to clear this guy out. Um, this isn't terrible that you went back though, to because who knows, he might have killed Busy, so 2v1 would kind of guarantee that this guy would die. But just for future reference, um, I would keep that play in mind. Letting some guy slip if we have one dead on the respawn timer. Right here, the enemy goes for the lift. He grabs our flag. You're trying to look for him. You're like, all right, where he is? There's Busy. All right, and he drops. And right here, you follow. I disagree with the follow because he could have planted a grenade right where you're dropping. Fortunately, he didn't, but he could have. We get the kill. And right here, I also disagree with this play. You're jumping on the respawn because two reasons. One reason being the respawn is so close to our flag that it might as well be a dead run for them unless they are all over here ready to capitalize on, picking that flag up and continuing it. And if that were the case, then hopping on the respawn makes you a target for all of them, which ends up actually happening. Luckily, there was somebody else here to kind of fend off two people, actually, I think, to fend off the two people that would have had the drop on you because of that respawn. So in future reference, I would personally say if her flag is this close to the base, just kind of leave it and focus on getting positioning. Maybe bait it, if anything, if to see if they might go for it. But other than that, don't hop on top of it. I would avoid that. Yeah, we definitely got lucky in that. All right, so here we are. We got positioning, contesting quantum locator. Great play again. This time you got it. Making a play with it. Fantastic. Right here, I'm gonna pause it because I do remember, and this happens twice in a game. In this game, you have the drop on someone, you can go in for a back smack, but you shoot, and that shooting causes them to turn around, and they're able to kill you. Unfortunately, yeah. Whenever you have the drop on someone like that, I would always go for the back smack personally. Because, there might be a chance you might miss the back smack. That happens. But at least that's a much higher chance of getting the kill than if you were to shoot someone. Back smacks are easier to land than shots. I like that you're pushing bottom mid for positioning right here. They dropped the flag, luckily off the cliff. I don't know why. And it returns back to our base. So at this point, you decide I'm going to push forward to get a further up positioning. And everything's great up until right here. I think that at this moment in time, you are the only person on this half of the map on our team. And I think there I am right up there, but that's glass is blocking me, and I'd have to drop or go up top, vulnerable places, to be able to assist you against 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So it would be a 4v2 if I decide to do that. And you going for the flag grab basically forces my hand to either choose to assist you or let you die. And I'm pretty sure I assist you here. But you still end up dying because it is, in fact, a 4v2, and most of our team is pretty much still at our base because they just spawned in. So when going for a flag grab, I would just be more mindful of how many people are on your side of the map, what help can you get, and just pretty much try to get more information than you had in that scenario about where the enemy is, where the flag route's going to be, how the entire route's going to play out. Because it was great that you went for it, but not great that you went for it right then and there particularly. I would have waited for teammates to push up a little bit, for instance. Or at least, for the enemy team, if you were going to play it sneaky, for them to push past you to like the middle position before grabbing it. But yeah, that was an easy collapse right there by them, and they pretty much, I think they're able to get that read. I like that you pick up snipe. Some people were afraid to do that.
Enemy flag returned.
Getting cleanups, top mid. And I'm gonna pause it right here because I noticed, see that guy on the left side, that guy right there. You don't see him yet, and that's a key factor because of the next play that you make, which is I'm gonna push towards the left side of their flag, which is great until you stop halfway. Because right here, I see that you stop to line up a shot to hopefully get a headshot on the guy before he goes around the corner. However, see that guy on the right? He has a sight line on you before you have a sight line on this guy. And that only happened because he was checking his flank. Basically, we would go over here. How I was saying earlier when it was on our side of the map, how if I wanted to check my flank, I would look right, walk left, and then that way I would have first shot on the guy. That's exactly what he did. He has first shot on you, and since that happened, it descoped you, and you couldn't get the snipe on this guy because you were descoped, and it caught you off guard, and it was essentially a 2v1 at this point, and you're already half shields when you realized it started. So yeah, you're pretty much guaranteed dead at the moment that you stopped halfway exposed without checking the flank. So I guess just to reiterate, definitely check your flank always, or like especially if like you're on their side of the map. But if you don't check your flank, commit to your movement and just expect that one of them might be coming back around to clean you up. You know what I'm trying to say? Like this push to there could have been successful, but you would have had to kind of take those variables into account of like there might be someone else that saw me. Yeah. Alrighty. We spawn in, pick up BR. Again, that's good. Alright, we gotta get shots on that guy. Contest the power up. That's good. Right here, I would be careful with these nades. Like, if you're getting shot, they're pushing you, and then you peek out to throw a nade, because you don't know if the nade placement hasn't been set up. There wasn't enough. That guy in the back right now, he's teabagging me. I had no idea mid game when he was doing that. That's hilarious. But yeah, instead of peeking and throwing a nade, I would just focus on peeking and shooting. You have help here, so this guy's dead. Oh, I skipped to some part of the map. Alright, I remember this next part. I remember you see the kill feed. There's 2 of them dead, 2 of us dead, 3 of them dead, 2 of us dead, 3 of them dead. So there I am on the left, and I remember calling out, help me push right side. I'm underneath you. And then you do end up responding to that call out and acting on it. You're like, alright, I'm above you. I'm going to help you with this push. Alright, that guy's dead. And it's fantastic that you listened to the call out and responded to the call out. That's legitimately a skill that a lot of people don't have. So props for that. I do like this as well. Down a shot, so you drop and you set up a chase. If he drops, then you would have had the upper hand on him maybe. He didn't chase, but it was still a good setup. Copy, guys. And then right here, again, I would be careful tunnel visioning. We are here to help, and we do have some kills on the map, but without checking the flank, this guy does have the drop on you. And so, Unfortunately, this ends up being a collapse on them because we don't have the information. Although I do remember, calling out, "There's a guy behind you," a second time, of like to drop the flag and shoot, which you do drop the flag, and then you start shooting, which is again a great example of responding to callouts. So you're really good at that. Keep that up, definitely. Unfortunately, he went the right side, um, but you at least got the trade there, so that's fantastic.
Enemy flag returned.
Alright, so here we go. Spawn. Go up top. Shooting the guy. This is another example of popping on the return when it's really close to our base. I just fundamentally disagree with it because it puts you, for many different reasons.
Flag returned.
But, we end up getting the return. We're
Enemy
thinking,
flag
alright, is anyone going for the sniper? No, I'm going to go for it. Which is good because, you made sure no one else is going for it, yada yada. Here, this is a second example of shooting and then them having the ability to turn because they heard you shoot. So I would, go for the backsmack in those scenarios. Alright, spawned in. Alright, third time going for the return when it's close to the flag. I would just kind of try to break that habit.
flag returned.
Alright, contesting power-ups. Good. Oof, unfortunately got sniped. Some guy somehow snuck around me and Busy. Like I'm their computers. He probably pushed all the way sniper side the hallway. That's probably what that was. Yeah, because he has sniper. I guarantee you that's what happened. Here, drop. Back this guy up a bit. Back up, getting your shields back. Lift. I'd be careful lifting with your shields being this low, because if someone on their team was to be aiming at the top of the hill, you'd be dead right here. Boom. But luckily there's no one there. Yeah, that guy. I don't know how he got there. Weird play by him. Good stuff. Ooh, with the turn grenade. If you're getting shot in the back, I would avoid turning and throwing a grenade. If anything, just turn and shoot, or even just turn and strafe. But grenade, not the best option, because it puts you in a disadvantage being stuck in an animation. Luckily, he didn't capitalize, but yeah, just avoid kind of panic grenading. Here we are pushing up.
5 minutes remaining.
Going under the base, we're getting kills. Alright, here we are presented with the scenario of team is midway across the map. We are behind them on the flag. Good thing would have been to check flanks. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. So yeah, just kind of reiterating, if you're on their side of the map, always check your corners, especially when going for a flagpole. And if you don't, that is if you don't have the information of where they all are. Even if you know where 3 of them are, that one guy could just be the guy behind you. And usually that ends up being the case. Right here, I like that you're using this as cover. You back up, let shields recharge. Unfortunately, when they go for the flagpole, that doesn't happen again, and you leave yourself exposed in a 2v1 scenario right here, 3v1. So just kind of try staying behind cover a bit more. That ends up being a flag capture for them.
Enemy captured your flag.
Alright, here we are, going behind them. This is looking to be a third example of we're behind their base. Now, our team is pushed up a bit, so it kind of looks like, we have them for help. But as you can tell, they're not, directly blocking the sniper spawn or the um, pistol area spawn. I don't know what to call that. Um, and there's a guy right there with the sniper. Unfortunately, you don't see him, and the corners um, don't check the corner. Instead, go for the flagpole, which ends up causing them to get a third stop. Luckily, he misses his snipe, but unfortunately, this guy right here sees you. And although you could have been a little bit more fishy, kind of fishy, uh, you know, went under their base, maybe try to play around with your life. Um, I think it would have just delayed kind of the inevitable, which would have been they would have gotten the collapse on you, especially since I'm dropping right there, so you really only have one guy to help you, busy, and they have 3 people here. So yeah, definitely just again reiterate, check your corners, play slow when you're on their side of the map, on flags. There we go. That was a great consistent strafe we had right there. Good to see. Alright, look like they have our flag. So you turn, you're gonna intercept them, which is great. Right here, I'm gonna stop it because I do notice, you see there's 2 of them, and fortunately you get the kill. Unfortunately you die. Fortunately, this guy says fuck that and leaves. Unfortunately, this guy throws a sticker grenade, and fortunately, the needles all end up hitting and you get the kill. Unfortunately, despite your best efforts of jumping to avoid the sticky, it explodes and you die. I think this is one of those scenarios that's kind of like there is almost no. I mean, there's probably a better way you could have played it, but like I would say if you did know where the sticky was going to land, if you were behind that corner, it wouldn't have killed you. But it would be impossible to tell if you were facing this way unless you have like eyes in the back of your head or something, or you could like calculate the trajectory or whatever. But I mean, I don't disagree with this because at some point you gotta like expect us to be human beings. So you spawn in. This is when what's his name? Team Busy hands you the flag when you spawn in, and you pick it up to. There he is running it right there. And then you spawn in, you get the flag, and you get for the what's it called? The rally, the jousting. What is it called when you pass the flag to someone else? You carousel. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. I like that you drop the flag when you see Busy died, and so you're expecting a push. This is good. So you're like, all right, expecting a push. Right there, you see him shooting. Busy died, unfortunately. He got the kill when he died. And now right here, to our left, they're flanking you. I would always try to have your reticle either like towards the middle, like legitimately towards middle, or on one of your flanks. Because it would have been possible, this guy's weak, it would have been possible to stop this guy from killing you. But unfortunately, I keep trying to resume and then it skips for some reason. Is this you? Where are you? This is you. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was saying. It would have been possible to get this kill, but unfortunately he ends up killing you. Luckily, we're able to get the stop on this guy. His teammate nades him, and then we're able to just clean that guy up. But yeah, always, check your flanks. Here we go. There's about a minute left. Contesting that sniper. That's good. You're like, alright, our sniper's up, and we'll go pick it up, which is great. We have 2 kills on them. Expecting a possible push. Oof. Oof. Unfortunate. Got caught with her pants down on that one. It is what it is. It happens. Yeah, alright. Alright, now, unfortunately, or I'll pause it in a second. Remember when you died with the sniper on snipe? It's right there.
1 minute
And you move to the right. I would have gotten that sniper because, it's definitely advantageous. It is what it is. Also, right here, this is another example of you got to check your own corners. If you're here and there's no one else kind of pushing above, like there, no one through hallway, no one behind you, pushing mid is not the play because of specifically this example right here. And it plays out, it couldn't play out more textbook than it did in this example right here. If you don't check your own flanks, they're always going to be there. You got to check your flanks. It's all a learning process. Is what it is. So we're pushing and pushing. Killed their snipe. Boom. Fantastic. Alright. Enemy flag returned, and we were able to get a pull on it. Right now, 17 seconds left. It's kind of a stalemate. This is going to turn into a sudden death. You get the pull. And you're like, I'm leaving because I got to keep this alive for sudden death. Which is a great play. There's a guy chasing you, unfortunately. But, you're like, alright, I got to turn and kill this guy. So you turn, kill him. Boom. And then another one of them drops. You're like, alright, I got to stay alive. Unfortunately died. And then this guy also died. What I would have said for that last play is right where you're at. Alright. Right here is good, right here is good, right here is good. Right here. You kill him. At this point in time, I would find the corner and turtle up in that corner until your shields are back. Maybe. And the best corner right here that I see is the one where the pistol is on it. Literally right here. I would walk forward. Maybe leave the flag there. Maybe grab it. It doesn't matter. Walk forward. Turn around. And just crouch. Or not crouch, but, stand. Get your shields back. Because then you're still in it and you still have eyes on it. And then, hypothetically, if that would have happened, this guy would have walked past you and you would have been able to shoot him in the back. But, that's just kind of like in the heat of the moment, split-second decisions that they really only come when you're, like, more relaxed. That makes sense. And due to the fact that we're, like, about to lose, it's definitely understandable why it wasn't the right... There was just a lot of pressure in that scenario. Alright, well, we lost. It is what it is. Footnotes that I like to attach at the end of this. You stay on top of power-ups and power weapons really well, and you communicate with callouts very well, and you make good plays. Unfortunately, you don't check corners as much as I would like, and, flanks. And you go for flag returns and pulls too much. Other than that, you're good to go. Asta.